Imagine this. It's early spring. You wake up at 7 a.m., you stretch, you reach for your phone. But when you check the time, it's 8 a.m. already. What happened? Well, daylight saving time happened. Now, if you're watching us from India, you won't experience it firsthand because India doesn't follow this system like 70-odd countries. But if you have friends, relatives, or loved ones living abroad, this change in time, depending on the season, may have confused you. And now, Mr. Trump is making headlines, calling for an end to this changing of clock. So what is this all about? What is daylight saving time? And why does the American president want to make it permanent? We will break it down for you. Let's start with the basics. On the second Sunday of March at 2 a.m. local time in most parts of the US, Americans set their clocks an hour ahead. What happens then? The sunrise will be later, as will the sunset. If the sun was going to set at, say, 6 p.m., it will now set at 7 p.m. according to the American clocks, thereby giving them an extra hour of daylight. Hence the name, Daylight Saving Time, or DST. And when autumn arrives, the clocks again fall back an hour, starting first Sunday of November. Now, it may sound complicated, but the objective is simple: to get more sunlight. Who even thought of this system, and how did it come into effect? Well, the idea has been around for over 200 years. In the 18th century, Benjamin Franklin had an eureka moment when he noted that waking up slightly earlier helped him save on energy costs. But it wasn't until the First World War that this idea was made concrete. In May 1916, Germany adopted daylight saving time to conserve fuel during the war. Soon, rest of the Europe followed the suit. In 1918, the US also adopted DST, but only for the duration of the two world wars. Decades later, in 1966, the Uniform Time Act was passed and DST was made permanent. However, the states had the option to opt out. That is why the likes of Hawaii, most of Arizona, Puerto Rico, and more states do not spring forward. But why would they opt out? Because DST gives you more daylight, yes, but it comes at a cost. Even though it was introduced with the intention of reducing energy consumption, more daylight often leads to increased cooling cost, therefore defeating the purpose. Then there are other impacts on health and lifestyle. Many have experienced disruptions and decreased productivity. Now, on the political front, what are Mr. Trump's arguments? In a post on Truth Social, he called daylight saving time a big inconvenience and a very costly event. His post came a day after a Senate panel discussed whether to set one time earlier instead of shifting the clock biannually. The debate has been going on for decades. Several politicians and leaders have demanded that the practice be discontinued. Interestingly, in 2022, a bill to make DST permanent was proposed by the Senate, which was led by the Democrats at the time. But the Republican-controlled House did not take it up, and it never reached then-President Joe Biden's desk. What is your take on this? Should daylight saving time be made permanent? Or should the biannual changing of clocks continue? Let us know in the comments. Arzoo for NDTV.